Reader. Hello, hello. This is our first open Aligned Soul Circle call. And I'm so excited to have you here, those of you that are here live, and also those of you that are watching the recording. So I know that we already talked about this a little bit before I press play, but if you're just tuning in, one, grab your cosmic calendar PDF that's either in my stand store or yeah, I think that's the only place it's at. Probably be sending it out with this recording as well. It has a couple pages that help you get organized with your priorities, as well as how we're going to compartmentalize them and break them down into bite-sized daily habits. And grab a glass of water, of course. And what else? Your calendar, if you have.
Torchellas.
Yeah, Mark's balance. We and your actual physical calendar, if you have it, because we're going to get into some organization processes and yeah, open mind and open heart as always. So we're going to start the call that we always do with an intention. So go ahead and close your eyes down with me. Maybe place one hand on your heart or one hand on your stomach or wherever it feels true for you, and just really land into this space. My intention for this space is to create a safe, like safety net, a safe community. And what does safe mean? It means somewhere where you can feel like you can relax, where you can be seen, where you can be celebrated, where you can have accountability, and where you can also have the soul level support. So I want you to just feel into that feeling in your body, knowing that if you are here, that you are loved, that you are supported, and that you have a big mission on your heart that you are chosen to see through. And I know that everything that's going on in the world right now, and I know that all the moving parts and all the shifting timelines, things can feel uncertain. But what I want you to rest in is the remembrance that while you're here, that's all that matters, is that you are present and at peace. Because it is our divine assignment, our divine right to continue to be the anchors of peace in the midst of chaos. And how do we do that? Sometimes we put ourselves in chaotic situations just so we can see how peaceful we can remain. Sometimes things shift and change for us to recognize and realize our adaptability. And then we recognize that whenever we come face to face with someone, when we have an anchor of peace in our body and our bones and our blood and our DNA and our cells and our aura and our frequency, that is what becomes the harmonizing frequency and the harmonizing force that surrounds us. This is the energy that we emit when we walk into a room that harmonizes the timelines, the road, the grocery store trip. Everything within our path becomes a harmonious frequency when we remember that that is our home frequency. And so today on this call and from this point forward, I want you to see how long you can expand out that frequency of peace in every given moment in all that you do, because when you create from the space of peace, when you speak from the tone of peace, when you move from the frequency and the remembrance of peace and presence, you will find that no matter where you are or what you're doing or who you're doing it with, you will call forward the peace and the presence. And you will also know and see which spaces you are meant to stay in and which spaces you are ready to leave because they no longer match the frequency of peace that is within you. And so at this time, drop down your grounding cord, connecting it to the heartbeat of Gaia. Breathing in to perfect timing, to divine timing, to God speed timing. Breathing in the codes through your roots, through your root chakra, all the way up through the crown of your head, the karmic codes, the cosmic codes, the dharmic codes of your destiny, activating everything within your essence and within your energy to reflect back to you your next steps. Reflect back to you your why. because these are the things that will keep you grounded, that will keep you anchored, that will keep you moving, that will keep your heart at peace, even when your external reality is still catching up to that frequency. And so it is. And whenever you're ready, blink your eyes open gently. I always catapult out, and it makes me remember that whenever I was in South Africa getting my transcendental meditation certification, and I would like pop out of the meditations, and my instructor would be like, no wonder you have headaches. You go into a meditation and you literally swirl around and then you literally pop out like this. He's like, gently, gently, everything gently. And so I'm like, I have to remind myself of that. How was that for you guys?
Lovely.
Good.
Good. Okay. I do those meditations because sometimes um hmm, I get ahead of myself. Maybe you can relate to this. And so whenever I do these things, it helps me to remember that I'm right on time and that I'll get to everything that I need to get to. So now that we have this intention set, on today's call, we are going to be diving into the planetary ruler tracker. And before we get into that, I want to remind you all that at any given moment, at any given time, we get to decide that we are entering into a new era, into a new season, into a new discipline. Because this next chapter for all of us, I believe, is a chapter that we've been praying for. I believe it's everything that we have worked so hard to like and like crawled out of the trenches for and like been through like unsettling, unnerving, disruptive situations so that way we could hold this next chapter with like such reverence, with such gratitude. Because I talk about new earth leadership, but in my eyes, new earth leadership is a lot of currency, frequency, resources in the hands of people who will use it for the betterment and the highest good of Gaia and harm done to none to humanity. And that's a big mission to uphold and to uplift. And so I also know that if you're here or if you're watching this recording, it's because there have been things that you've moved through recently and in the recent past or are currently moving through that are ready to be shed and let go of, but also so pivotal and so integral and so needed for who you are becoming and who you get to be in this next chapter. And I always talk about main character energy. And in my experience, main character energy is to be the best, most authentic, most self-expressed, and expansive version of yourself. So we get to also play into the timeline of what that means, what your main character essence is, who you are at your best, who are you at your worst, and how do you move through your worst cycles as the main character. And will be the new normal. This will be the new standard. This will be the new um it'll be the new frequency that you get to leave and pass down to future generations. This is the legacy that I'm talking about because this is what people learn through you. This is how you turn not just into someone who talks about it to someone who does it well, and is remembered for that. And this is also where you become the blueprint, the new blueprint for your lineage. the one that's not built on scarcity, the one that's not built on stagnation, the one that's not built on fear, the one that's built on love, the one that's built on passion for your dharma, the one that's built on fill in the blank for anything that is true for you. But repetition builds reputation, and what you repeatedly do, you become. And I'm not here to lecture you. I'm lecturing. The only person I'm looking at right now is me. I'm like, girl, it's time. I know you're ready. And so this is what this new era and this new season is. Marcel and I were talking about like a program that he said it's like get ready for New Year. And I'm like, why don't we just start now? Like, why don't we start now to get ready for New Year? And this is kind of like what he was talking about with his clients in his program. And so this is us preparing for the new year, but this is us starting now. And remember that you can start at any time, at any hour, and any day. And you also have the opportunity to restart any day, any moment. But what I've noticed for me is that when you decide to restart and you restart and you restart over and over and over and over again, you'll find yourself getting more discouraged over time. And so my hope is that after today's call that you no longer have to restart again. That this is the new era where you get to say, okay, I'm dedicated. And this is a season where you say, I really went for it with all that I had. So now that I know the energetics of it, and I always like to do this because Lexi knows I do a little bit of a vibe check to make sure like the tribe is all in congruence because this is not just short-term reward. This is long-term vision that we're talking about. This is building. And I feel like you guys know what I'm saying. So I'm mostly
Hmm.
what? I know I'm mostly talking to
Yeah.
people watching the recording. So if you're watching this recording, know I love you. It's a little tough love.
No, what I keep hearing in my head is building the systems that will last a lifetime.
Exactly. 1000%. Yeah. So now that we understand like what it is that we're doing and the importance of this, and also this is the reason why this is so pivotal and so important to integrate is because you're also going to be in rooms where people just don't fucking get it. They're not building the way that you are. They're actually not entrepreneurs or they have no desire to be that. You are going to be misunderstood by a lot of people, and you have to be okay with that. And you also have to be so grounded in who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it. So that way, when someone says, let's do this instead, like let's party or let's go out. And not saying that you can't party and you go out because my mom's here and she's a party animal. And so we party a lot more with my mom here. You could still enjoy your life, but, and keeping the intention pure and keeping your heart keeping your heart in alignment with what it is that you're doing because that's what's going to keep you going on the days when you don't get bookings, when you don't get when no one shows up for an event, when you post on social media and you get trolling comments, when your mom or your grandma or someone says, just get a real job, when, your best friend says you should have like X, Y, and Z, and this is what success means, and you say, I actually am doing something different. Is this resonating? Is this landing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because mark my words, and y'all know that very soon, the people who are still, how do I say this? I say this with reverence and I say this but this is like ancestral. Like this is like within my bones and in my within my blood. Like there will be people who claim to not see you and the work that you're doing that will be reaching out to you for your guidance and for your support and for your craft. There is a tipping point that comes where people think that you're crazy, and then it swings to, please help me. I've been thinking about what it is that you said, and I I know that you are the person that or that I was meant to work with you or that I'm meant to work with you or whatever it is. Also, when the in the realm of like funding, you never know when the next investor will come in your business or the next opportunity will come through you talking about it, you sharing about it. And so when you cut out the bullshit and the distraction and you focus on who you're talking to, who you're speaking to, that's whenever those opportunities come in, those connections are made. And that's when your message strengthens. So that way, no matter where you are, the opportunities, the clients, the experiences that are in alignment with your main character timeline magnetize towards you. So let's get into the planetary ruler tracker now that we're about 30 minutes in. And I know a few of you know about planetary magic. I've been talking about this forever. It's something that I've implemented in varying levels for many years now. And now I'm ready to like really plan my entire schedule around it. So planetary magic is the understanding that each planet, each celestial body in our solar system, and this is working in our solar system, but if you work in other solar systems, that's galactic. And I would love to hear anyone who's watching the replay, because I know that some of the community on TikTok has talked about this, if there's any other universes that you work with. But this is specifically talking to our universe. And so planetary magic is working with the energy of the planets, with the understanding that each day of the week, Sunday through Saturday, is ruled by a different planet. Planetary magic is channeling the energy of the planets into your daily actions and your daily tasks. So you're literally channeling this energy and these archetypes into whatever it is that you do. This is ancient. People used to wear jewelry in alignment with the meridians, in alignment with the metals of the planets to align with that. This is like alchemy 101 as well. Alchemy is how can we turn base metals into gold, but spiritual alchemy is how can we utilize the energies to alchemize and transcend our current experiences. And so planetary magic is using and channeling this energy into our daily tasks. There's many different ways to do this. Like I said, I talked about jewelry, I talked about archetypes, but what this calendar and what this tracker does is helps you understand the archetypes of each individual planet. So that way, one, you can compartmentalize your daily tasks and put them into the planner. And then two, understand the archetypes. So that way, if you're into astrology or you want to understand archetypes on a different level, you can bring this into your astrology practice. You can bring this into your embodiment practices because archetypes rule the collective subconscious. And if you are someone who is looking to be online and utilize their public image and utilize social media or your platform in a way to share your vision, share your voice, share your message, archetypes is one of the key components to building trust with your audience. When you understand archetypes, you understand the needs and desires and also how you fulfill them based on your blueprint. and also bringing in the archetypical planets into how you present not only your public image, but also the directions. Does that make sense? Or was that a little bit whimsical? Tell me, since you guys are here, does that make sense? Any questions?
Makes sense to me.
hmm Makes sense.
Okay, cool. So then we're
I
gonna,
like
oh, go ahead.
just really quick, something that I guess to me, when you're saying these things, what clicks in my head, it's like if every day was a different color, are you aligning yourself with with that frequency, right? Or if every day was a different tone, it's like there are tones that complement it or that create dissonance, and by being able to harmonize with that, you're actually able to get more out of it. And then the second thing that I feel like it's also very powerful about this, and that I've noticed with hearing you and working with you, is that myself, I have a very limited perspective of the things that I think I could be doing, but by being able to think about the entirety of the spectrum and look at each different ruler, each different archetype, I'm realizing that, oh, wait, I'm not tapping into this, and this. And by being able to tap into it through that lens, which gets me out of my comfort zone, gets me out of like my habit of how I view things and the things that I consider important, really get me, are really able to, yeah, catapult me into a whole different state of showing up. So I personally really appreciate that from all of that. So,
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, honey. I know
mhm.
actually we're just talking about Marcel. So he is an Aries rising, and Aries is ruled by Mars. And so we were talking about how Tuesdays, which are Mars days, will be a really good day for him to like channel that warrior energy, which I feel like is an archetype that he has not channeled consistently, which I feel like would be also a great opportunity for him in just all around every aspect of life. So yeah, really excited to see how you bring that forward. I'm a Libra rising, so Venus is my ruler, birth chart ruler. And so this is also why I work with Venus a lot. Lexi, what's yours?
Leo.
Oh, baby, we got the sun. Okay, love that. Goosebumps. That's so good. You're a Leo rising. Of course you are. I love that. Um, so yeah, Sunday. Okay, so yeah, here we are. Here you are. Yay.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're going to go through each of the days of the week for everyone who's watching the recording, so that way you can understand the essence and the energy of each day of the week. However, this is in the like little write-up that comes with your cosmic calendar. As I'm saying these, as I'm saying these archetypes, helping you understand which planet is rules each day of the week, I want you to start thinking about what are some tasks that are in align with who I'm becoming. So not who you are now, but who you're becoming, the person of you that you desire to be. Like think long term, like are they on speaking on stage? Are they hosting a, world famous podcast? Are they like what are they doing? Like what is it that you want to be known for? And starting to think about the daily tasks that this person does. And then we're going to get into those with each day of the week. But starting with Sunday. Sunday, planetary ruler, take a wild guess, is the sun. Sunday is ruled by the sun. So, sun energy is vitality. What does that mean? What charges you up? What is something that you do every Sunday? And hopefully, it's Soul Circle Sunday if you're here. That gets you charged up, that gets you revitalized, that gives you a new zest for life. The sun is the planetary ruler of Leo. So this is also a day for self-expression. So this could be taking an acting class, taking a singing class. This could be playing whatever it is that's going to help with your confidence because this is personal power. The sun also rules the solar plexus. So this is personal power. This is personal confidence. And so for me, as an example, Sunday is the day where I clean I just cleaned this I scrubbed the walls of this house yesterday. I'm, also getting organized. Sundays are the days to get organized. Those bring me confidence because if I have a stacked calendar with all of my client calls, with all of my tasks, and I have it all written out, you better believe I'm waking up at the ass crack of dawn ready. So Sunday is the day where you do something that revitalizes you, that charges you, that works with your confidence. Now, a little side note is simple scales, complex fails. This is a business coach that I worked with, and she said this: simple scales, complex fails. So we also want to remember that when you are thinking about the tasks, that it is maybe you pick 1 to 3 days tops to start off with, because if you try to add in too many things at once, it's like working out every single muscle at the gym on the first day, and then you're gonna say, holy shit, never mind, I need 2 weeks off. I can't work out because I got sick. I got gym sickness. Even though Marcel laughs at me when I say gym sickness, but if you've ever had gym sickness, maybe I made it up, but I swear I get it if I work out too hard one day. So Sunday, that's Sunday. That's Sunday energy. Monday, moon day, intuition, introspection. If possible, if you like this, and this is up to you. I'm a Cancer sun, Cancer midhaven, so ruled by the moon and by Venus with my rising. So moon day for me, I is today here in the Philippines. I don't plan client calls on moon days. Moon days are a day for me to ease into the week. Moon days are the day where I do a deep, higher self-guided meditation for myself so that I can consistently tap into the frequency of my higher self every week. Do I do this every Monday? No. Am I doing it from this point in my life? Yes. Mondays are a good day to also do divination. If you are practicing, if you desire to be a well-renowned, well-known mystic, well, guess what? That's going to take a little bit of practice. So you're going to want to start building in times to do your practices. But I encourage anyone who chooses to use Monday as a planetary ruler day or to select a task to put in it that is in alignment with who you are becoming. What is something that's going to expand your intuition, nurture your higher self, create some safety around your intuitive abilities, do some deep reflection, whether that be actual reflection like mirror work, which is technically divination, or just 5 minutes before you go to bed. My Monday task is to spend up 5 minutes talking to myself before I go to bed by candlelight and say, I love you, I'm proud of you, you're doing amazing, and give me that level of love that I seek outside of myself to myself. And it can be something as simple as that, because simple scales, complex fails, and we want to build your habits instead of busting them out. Tuesday is Mars Day, which is ruled by Mars. Oh my gosh, Tuesday is Mars Day, ruled by Mars. Um, Mars is a planet of war, action. So on Mars days, plan tasks that you could use a little bit of extra confidence for. So say you are in the process of interviewing, if you can plan your, I would suggest planning interviews on Tuesday or Wednesday, because on Wednesdays ruled by Mercury. So that's, you're able to communicate effortlessly. Even through Mercury retrograde, which I know we're in right now. So Tuesday, confidence, things that are going to take a little bit more courage. So I record, like, whenever before my TikTok popped off, I would record my content on Tuesdays. I would batch them on Wednesdays and I would record them on Tuesdays because I, regardless of what actually people think of me, I needed the extra push of confidence. I needed that like Mars energy to channel into saying some tough things that needed to be said. Because of this, also, it's a good day to do a hard workout. It's also a good day to wear red if you do color magic or any other color that's going to, it's the warrior archetype. So think about what you would do to utilize that warrior archetype. Wednesday is Mercury. So this is week over week. If you are hosting a podcast or a master class, Wednesdays are a great day to do that, or to brainstorm the ideas or to do research. Wednesday is, like I said, Mercury day. So this is technology, this is communication, this is delivering of information. So if you have a newsletter, maybe that's what your task is for Wednesday is I want to send out to my email list every Wednesday something valuable, helpful to my audience, and also that continues to build my expertise and to share that in service of the collective. So Wednesday, Mercury Day, delivering information technology. I also don't check all of my, like, I have WhatsApp, Voxer, Telegram, blah, 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 like all the things. And I'm doing my best to like really consolidate them through what I actually use. But Wednesdays are also the day where I go through all of my DMs, I go through my Telegram, I go through and I clean them out or I respond back to messages if I haven't been able to respond back to some of the DMs on my social medias. So when you have a day that's set up with that, then you don't find yourself spiraling out because you have so many comments or so many emails to respond back to, and you can build that in to your structure and your systems. Thursday is Jupiter Day, which is luck, opportunity, expansion, travel, Sagittarius energy. So this is philosopher energy as well, but it's more so expansion because in your birth chart, any house that Jupiter is in, it expands. Whereas Capricorn energy, which is what we'll get to on Saturday, Capricorn's more strategic, more planning, more logical. Jupiter is like expanding, right? So what I do on Jupiter days or what I recommend people doing, if you plan on traveling, plan your travel on Jupiter days. What's your itinerary going to look like? What is it that you because when sorry, my guides are like giving me all these different examples to work through. So I'm like trying to channel this. So whenever it was like one of the things I've been sharing in my content is I really wanted to go to Bali to get my yoga teacher training. And I thought it was so out of reach for me, given where I was at. And I just had to reverse engineer it into bite-sized baby steps to to recognize and realize that it wasn't actually unattainable. I was just putting it off because I didn't know where to start. And so this is an opportunity for you to get clear on everything that you need to do to make a trip happen. This is also great for finances. So a good time for you to check in weekly with your finances. And as a reminder, you don't have to stick to the archetypes, but if you desire to, Thursdays to do your tracking, to do your ins and outs. And depending on, I'm not a financial advisor. So depending on, how your relationship with your money and your finances is, having like a money ritual or having like looking into your bank account and saying, I'm so excited to grow with you. Let's grow together. Like reframing how it feels when you look into your bank account. This is also long-term planning. So every Thursday, if you have a project, like a long-term project that you're working on, sit down with that. Like really sit down and take a look at it. Have I made progress on that? What progress have I made on that? What next steps do I need to take to expand into that? Because it's not going to just happen on its own. You have to create that time. Guilty. So this is Thursday. Friday is Venus Day. So this is a great day to go on dates. This is glamour magic. This is Venusian energy. So this is love, beauty, and aesthetics. So this is getting your hair done and getting your nails done, or just doing a beauty ritual, doing something that's really going to connect to you to your feminine essence. This is also if you, anytime I've worked with artists or creatives, I always say set aside 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, however much time you can give to Venus as an offering to fine tuning your craft and your talent. So Marcel's learning how to play the ukulele now, which has been really lovely to watch him step into that. And he's also an incredible artist. So it's also about building time to strengthen your craft. If you want to be known for your art, if you want to be known for your voice, if you want to be known for these things, then are you actively taking time to curate and cultivate that side of you? Saturday is Saturn, Daddy Saturn, structures and systems. So this is organization, whatever that looks like for you. So for me lately, that's been organizing one room of the house, and the house is starting to look beautiful. Not that it wasn't beautiful, but it just needed a little love. This could be organizing one drawer of your office desk. This could be organizing the back end of your business. This could be getting your emails in order. This could be um, planning out your launch for your first product, um, streamlining something, creating a plan of action for the steps that is going to take to do it. So you say you want to do an email list or you want to start blogging, then what are the steps to actually do that? I need to one, have a space to do the blog. I need to two, actually write the blog. I need to three, make sure the blog reflects my aesthetics if that's something that's important to you. Four, I need to I get to do enrollment for that. How are these people finding me for that? Okay, so you see, and then once you have the steps down, you can say, oh, okay, this is the day that I do this. This is the day that I do this. This is the day that I do this. Saturdays are a good day to like really channel that Saturn energy. It's also a great day to learn. So if you don't know what it is that you want to do, if you don't know what it is that you want to be just yet, that's okay. Then schedule 30 minutes, an hour to learn French, to learn astrology, to learn whatever it is that you want to be a master at, or whatever it is that you desire to gain deeper understandings on, because when you learn, you expand your horizons, but also you don't want to get caught into the endless loop of consistently learning and not executing. And so that's why it's important to also just have like a specific day to learn. Unless you're in school, then you should be studying every single day. Just joking. If any college students are watching this recording, they're like, I only need to study once a week. Oh, fuck, no, baby. Study every day, a little bit every day. And so now that we've gone through the entire list, one, do anyone that's live have any questions on the archetypes? And if you have questions, even if they're small, I encourage you to ask them because someone who's watching the recording might need that question answered. So if you need any little further clarity on the archetypes, the planetary rulers, or if you want to add anything, I'll give you guys the space to do that.
I just want to say that they talk about having lost languages, and this is probably the biggest one that has been lost over time.
Mm. Yeah. That just gave me chills. Goosebumpies, yeah. But you're a manifester, so my eyes are sparkling because I'm getting emotional. Imagine that. The manifestors bring the ancient way to the modern day. So this is why you probably feel so um, tied to this because it is very ancient. Whereas the
Can
manifestors
you
are
say
like,
that one more time?
what?
The ancient, what was it? Can you say it one more time?
Bringing the ancient way to the modern day.
Wow.
Mhm. Whereas the manifestors are the old world leaders. So we're based in like tribal culture, ancient mysticism, where the projectors are the new world leaders. So they're here to like kind of expand into this new paradigm that's being built, but also manifestors have just a very integral and pivotal mission to bring
Mhm.
the ancient traditions. Not saying that projectors don't bring the ancient traditions, but manifestors are like ancient coded. because we were like, yeah, I mean, this isn't a human design class, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like,
I want to say that yeah, to me, going over this list, I feel that one of the things that stuck out that you said that I feel like I was like, oh, that would be interesting. Since I don't have that much experience really tapping into the archetypes, I feel like there's a couple of archetypes that I've really tapped into, but not definitely not all of them. I love what you said about setting up 30 minutes a day to tune in to that archetype. So, we already do our daily meditations, but I feel like now it's like giving an angle to that meditation to say, okay, today I'm going to connect with Saturn energy, right? Or I'm going to connect with Mars energy or whatnot. And so, yeah, just tapping into that felt like this would be such a great portal to get to get those creative juices, to get that those ideas flowing from particularly from what it feels like from that archetype, right? And that to me is a shift. It's not just the thinking, it's like what does it feel like to be and embody this essence and then really think and create from that space. I think that's really interesting.
yeah, I love that idea, honey. Thank you. That's a great idea. Beautiful. Love that. Yeah, that made me think of like even doing, yeah, like having like a meditation for that too. Guided. Okay. So now that we understand the planetary rulers and their archetypes, I want to invite both of you to share a little bit about what is it, who is it that you are becoming in this next chapter, or who is it that you are emerging as, I guess would be the better way of saying it. Um, so that way we can bring it to fruition. And we can also assist you with helping to have the accountability for that. And so, what I want to do is, I want to give you guys a couple prompts. Lexi, are you good on time? We're going to go for 90 minutes. Are you good on time?
Oh yeah.
So, I want to go do a couple prompts so that way you can get into the flow of this. And then, after the prompts are done, we're going to talk about it. And I want both of you to share it so that way we can. I always say to hold your tissues to the sky, but I just picture it being like, woo! Celebrate and support you. Okay, so the first question, who do I des or what do I desire to be known for? I want you just to reflect on that for maybe like 2 minutes and write it down. What is it that I desire to be known for? So say you're a household name, or maybe you don't want to be a famous. Maybe you just want to be known for this within your family. What is it that you want to be known for? If you're optimizing your social media, utilizing your social media, why do people follow you? When people talk about you, they're like, you know, Marcel, the blank.
I heard Marcel the Shell.
Oh my God. Exactly. Hi, sweet girl. You feeling sleepy? Okay. You need another minute or so. I'm gonna share mine. Unless someone wants to go first. Do you want to go first, Marcel? Okay. What do I desire to be known for? When I close my eyes and when I envision my life, I picture myself speaking on stage. I picture myself hosting retreats. And also, I always see like the mystery school. I see the magic. I see the divination. I see the like the modern, well, not even modern. I see the X-Men. I see like the new magic school. Maybe, like I said, maybe not even new. Maybe it's ancient. But I see this Oracle Arts Academy. I see this place where people develop their spiritual gifts. I also see myself being 100 plus, still my body like banging, like yoga every day. She's so flexible. How is her booty so tight when she's 103? It's a new wonder of the world. Like it's crazy. It's nuts. How does she do it? Yoga every day. I also desire to be I've never I used to work in fashion. I used to work in styling, and I haven't, as I talked about on the like just on the call, like been living with very little um what's it called? Like physical luxuries, I guess. And so there was like a season of my life where I like literally gave away everything, not just the things that I had lost, but also my big crystals or things. And so, but what I really love is curating beautiful spaces. I love fashion, I love jewelry, and I love feeling beautiful. And so I really want to be known for my style. I want to have a brand. That would be like amazing. Like long-term vision would be to have a personal brand. Um, yeah, and I want something that says like Oracle or New Earth, whatever. I don't know. But I know that those are some of the things that that I see for myself. And so spiritual practices, divination, spiritual retreats, speaking on New Earth leadership, helping people find freedom in their soul purpose. And that's like also yoga for me, because that was like such a catalyst for me. And I don't work out very much, but I do practice yoga. And then my beauty and my style. Like these are the things that I want to incorporate into and what I want to be known for. And obviously, I want to be known for being a good person, but that comes with that's like the frequency of it all underneath it. Right? I want to be remembered for the humanitarian work that I've done, because also when my projects pop off and when I'm able to like really invest, I want to be able to give back to the earth, like write huge checks to Habitat for Humanity, or for providing water in places, or whatever I can, wherever Gaia needs help and support. That would be, that's what I mean when I say New Earth leadership is allocating the resources where Gaia needs it the most. So those are that's what I want to be known for. It's giving Angelina Jolie. Like that's to me is like she's an actress. She's a humanitarian. She gives back. I don't really know much about her personal life and who she is, but from what I've seen, that is the archetype that I'm like, yes, yes. So whoever would like to go next.
I can go.
Yay.
Um, there's two different ones that I see for myself. I mean, they probably both, but the first one is the modern day, like you had talked about, the Angelina Jolie. And that's for me, it's like ethereal enchantment through song, voice, or word. So kind of something you said similar to being on stage, but just the voice is what I feel I am called to do to help our planet have our evolutionary chapter into the next part of our lives. And I agree with you on the 103 and still banging. I really believe that that's where we're going into our next stage in humans' lives is we obviously can control everything in our body all the way to the T, each cell. So I believe that that's where we're headed. So I'm right there with you on that one. And then the other one was more of the title was what I want to be known for is the revolutionary leader that is known for dismantling old societies and rebuilding new ones within the chaos. And that's again bringing old ways into old practices into new practices and developing an entire new practice from the two and creating that third one. So yeah.
Period. Snaps for you. I love this. I love that so much. Thank you for helping me anchor the 103 old tight booty into this paradigm.
All day, every day.
So good.
Well, you know what I think about age.
I do.
Yeah. So I definitely resonate with that. Especially because I'm part Incan, I'm part Peruvian, and within Incan history, we know that, and it's very interesting. You can even Google this. The the average Incan lived to 150 years old. You were considered still a child until 50. From 50 to like 80 something, or 50 to 100, you were like middle aged, you were an adult. And then from like 100 to 150, you were an elder. So, yeah, it's like we're still young, very young, especially at around 100. And so I guess this brings me to what I desire to be known for, which is revolutionizing health, empowering people with sovereignty through knowledge of self, expanding consciousness, really providing the framework for the future of wellness. Um, yeah, just getting people to understand what bioelectrics is, because ultimately this is the voltage, this is a charge, this is literally where energy, consciousness meets the physical. And before 100 years ago, we didn't know how to describe it. But today we have so many scientific breakthroughs that we have basically all the links. And so my work is being able to bring these understandings forward so that people can, yeah, we can shift health so that you can have a banging body at 103, 110, still having babies at 80. You know me, babe.
I do.
So that's what I want to be known for.
Okay, love that. Snaps to you. But I'm not having babies
Yeah.
at 80, so that's one thing that needs to change.
You don't know that.
I do actually. I know that. I know that. All right. So the next, so yeah, thank you for sharing that. I see that already. So the next question, what are you doing? Who are you being that is already in alignment with that? What is it that you are already doing that is in alignment with that person that you just described? And whenever you're ready, I'll let one of you guys go first this time.
I'm ready.
All right, sister, lay it on us.
The first one that aligns with the desire of the revolutionary leader. My current day reality, what I've been seeing myself doing is learning and implementing the psychological practices that have been bestowed upon us.
Mhm.
Um, Reverse engineering those and implementing the proper practices to the correct scenario or situation. On top of that, being able to have the other party be fully conscious of what's happening, have the full realization of, in their consciousness, and be able to sustain those practices throughout their life.
Mhm.
Um, and then the other one, the modern day ethereal enchantment. What I'm doing currently is podcasting and speaking up in situations that feel uncomfortable. I do want to be doing more,
Okay.
obviously, like learning like voice lessons, speaking in front of large crowds, even karaoke at bars or something would benefit my throat chakra and strengthening in that. So that's something I want. That's something I will implement doing. But currently, it's podcasts and speaking up in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, that's great. So you are quite literally becoming an embodiment of it in real time.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love that, especially the karaoke part. It's crazy to see here in the Philippines how many people are so tuned into their voice. And yeah, you can really see how that makes people just shine in general.
My mom
So
carries
powerful.
a little karaoke box that's literally a transportable karaoke box. It's like this big and it has like a microphone and she's like, this is my therapy.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Hmm. And it's crazy because you would never think the how talented random people are, and out of nowhere they're just like, I'm just gonna sing this one song, and you're like, wait, am I in a cruise? Like, like a Disney cruise, and this is like, that person just comes in and the fireworks
Right.
are in the background, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you got that voice.
Really, but I also feel like there's a lot of like suppression and oppression in the Filipino culture, and so when they
Hmm.
sing, it's like their outlet to really like say it all, sing it all, whenever they don't have the space to do that. So it's like
Yes.
very healing
Mhm.
for it is very
Hmm.
healing for their entire culture, for the entire culture, and I feel
Yeah, I
like
got goosebumps with that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And especially with like Lexi, when at least something that I've noticed, because I've never really, done that much karaoke. Um, when you start singing, you realize like you're singing from a timid place where you're keeping yourself small, and realizing like through that practice, like how you're really able to just kind of like open yourself up and like really step into the song, right? Like into that embodiment. And I think that shift is so powerful. Like that practice of just being like, I don't care. I'm just gonna really give it my all. And you hear people like whenever there's electricity here, that you always hear some karaoke somewhere. Like it's nature here. I can literally hear people singing right now. But yeah, so like that energy that even if someone isn't that good, quote unquote good, the fact that they're giving it their all just feels so powerful. And so yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
such a
I
beautiful thing.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. Should I jump next? Yeah. Okay, so what are you doing? Who are you being that is in alignment with the person you described? So I am currently creating the educational material, bridging the educational gap, having conversation. So basically creating the space for people to start realizing and seeing that there is a paradigm shift, and also creating the space for those who are looking to integrate that into their lives. I am creating that space for them to be able to do that. So I know that um, I don't want to be the one that's every day showing up and giving a course. I know that we have the ability today to create a master course and then that can run on its own. So that's, those insights, all that information, that's what I'm preparing daily while also offering enlightening, paradigm shifting content so people can start realizing that there is another world, that we need to shift our perspective and create those arguments so that, planting seeds. So that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. Love that. And for me, I am doing yoga every day. That's been like something that's been really important for me, except for the 3 days that I'm like bleeding, like the first 3 days of my cycle. I give myself, my body full permission to rest. I am consistently creating spaces for community and being of service in my soul work and also fine tuning the transformation that my soul work creates so that way my clients can receive that medicine in a, I don't want to say shorter amount of time, but a more distilled or compact form of time. Um, and for it to be slow, steady, heart-centered, and sustainable growth. And also consistently sitting with my divination practices and opening myself up for more ways of self-expression. And then the last question is, what are you ready to let go of that is no longer serving who you are becoming? And then whenever you're ready, you can share. I'll go first this time. I see Marcel's still writing. Who are you ready to let go of, or what are you ready to let go of? Interesting. I also said who, Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograded and Mercury retrograded all over my face yesterday. So maybe who is also a um also that. So yes, that also. Yes, that also.
Feels good.
And also imposter syndrome. I know that imposter syndrome is always going to be there because imposter syndrome shows that you are expanding into who you are becoming. And there's also going to be that. So, am I letting go of imposter syndrome? Yes. And also, what I actually mean is, I still see imposter syndrome and I can still see it, I can still witness it. And I choose to show up in service to who I'm becoming every day, despite of that. Because I've gone through a lot. Maybe you can relate. I'm sure you can if you're watching this or if you're here in the space, but diluted, dulled down in communities, in relationships, even in close friendships that you thought were going to be forever, just to appease and to fit in and to be palatable. And I'm letting go of that frequency. Um, so this is me stepping into this next chapter feeling grounded in who I am, grounded in my truth, grounded in my close circles, and surrounded by people that I trust and that are excited to see me continue to grow. And then the other one is creating from urgency, no longer creating from urgency anymore, creating from the frequency of peace, because as a manifester, my signpost of alignment is peace. So if I'm not in a space of peace, I will not be creating. And that is, those are the two things that I am ready to let go of and step into this next chapter.
I resonate with primarily everything you said, old waves of space and thinking, and fear of showing my authentic stream of consciousness, doling myself down in places that I felt like I was being seen. If I could consciously connect with the other person on their level of consciousness, I could help them, but it doesn't always go that way. And it actually harms me in the end because I'm doing more, I'm going out of my way to do more, and I'm actually receiving less in that connection. So that's something I'm letting go of.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Um, and then the fear of being seen, more so heard, and the conviction in my voice when I'm speaking of truth and authenticity. If the person doesn't want to receive it, it's because there's something in them and themselves that is unwilling to see the truth in whatever I'm speaking about.
And also it's your truth, your truth is present and is prevalent with or without the acknowledgement of the other.
Yes.
Yeah, your truth is like a clear bell and it rings to be heard by those that are meant to hear it. And that's all. And with or without. Because if a bell rings and no one hears it, did it still ring? Right?
Right. Yes.
Right? Because then sometimes it's like, we get into you could get into a habit of only speaking when feeling like you have to convince someone, and that's just not the case. Your truth is your truth is your truth is your truth, and it is to be said.
I've been there and I've done that, and that is not resonating for me. I don't sit in spaces where I am included in small talk anymore because it can rope you in. The gym was a perfect example for this. I've helped a lot of people at my gym, but at the same time, I've exuded myself in doing so. I may have been successful in helping them, but I am left with a cracking cup. So that's something I'm changing currently.
Period.
Yes, ma'am.
Love it.
Yeah, following on that, that's something that I've noticed myself shift greatly in the last couple of years, especially traveling. So I would say over the last 12 years, um, bioelectrics for me was always a big passion when I would communicate this to my friends and colleagues or, family. um, there was a lot of defending, and so I'm constantly having to state why this isn't some conspiracy or why this is real or blah 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 blah. And one thing that I noticed one of the last times that we were back in Miami for Christmas, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and the tone was completely different this time around because they were trying to have a debate with me, and I just stopped them and I said, "This isn't a debate. This isn't something that yeah, that we're gonna be kind of breaking down. It's like this is the truth. This is the research that I've done, and I'm now speaking with conviction. If you believe me or not, that's up to you, but I'm not here to debate this with you, right?"
Yeah.
And so that energy I totally felt, and yeah, it was a huge shift because now I no longer need to explain myself to anyone. You either kind of fall in line with the understanding that this is my work, this is what I'm a professional at, and you jump on the boat, or you just kind of go away, and that's fine.
You give
But no,
joking.
but yeah, so there's no need to overextend yourself and lose all that energy because that's to me that was such a draining point. I would leak so much energy just trying to prove my point, trying to get people to see my perspective. When I realized that just communicate it and the right people will hear you and the other people, if they're curious and they'll ask, but from a curious place. They're
Well,
not.
that stems, and let me just cut you off, that stems from needing validation.
Hmm.
You need
Yeah.
to you need people to know that, like, and if you need external validation, then you're going to be consistently seeking a way to make other people see you. When if you give yourself internal validation, you do not need anyone to like, comment, agree. Your truth is your truth, and you stand on that with all 10 toes, if you have 10 toes. So that's also just about getting to that space where you can
Hmm.
confidently do that, and not from an egoic way, but from grounded in my truth way. And so,
Yes.
Exactly.
difference.
Yeah. So I guess just to finish that off, I am letting go of that self-doubt and criticism and that staying small uh state just because I what I share I know is a paradigm shift can trigger a lot of people, especially after COVID and everything, talking about health. It's like such a triggering thing. But yeah, just kind of stop caring about that. And that's kind of what I've been getting more into a habit of doing, just really showing up and really giving my perspective and not having to step around, walking on eggshells. So just I guess that's what I'm letting go of and really stepping into, um, really speaking with conviction.
Beautiful. And so for the last couple minutes that we have on this call, what I want to do is, what are three planetary rulers? And I want you guys to pick this for yourself. I say three because in my experience, three is just three. Great. I love it. Pick 3 days that you are going to use the planetary energy consistently for the next 3 months. Yeah, 3 months, 90 days. And then once you hit the 90-day point, then you're going to expand it out to another 90 days. So 180 total. And then by the end of 6 months, this is into January of next year. After we've been meeting every month for Aligned Soul Circle, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, Bianca, holy. And I'm like, yeah, I told you you could do it. So pick 3 planetary days or 3 days of the week, and then pick 3 tasks that you are going to do consistently, at least for the first 3 months. And then we're going to, oh my gosh, a butterfly just flew over to you. I just saw it, honey. That's beautiful. That's a good sign. So, and then we're going to hold each other accountable for that. And we're going to also make sure that those things are in alignment with who you are becoming. So, write it down. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give like 2 minutes each. One to help Marcel with like really fine tuning that, and then two to help Lexi or whoever wants to go first. And then I'm going to tell you guys the date for the next open community call. And then we're going to close out
Can you repeat one more time? So we're selecting the 3 days, and after we select the 3 days, what are we selecting? An activity from those days?
for those days. Yeah, that is
Okay.
in alignment with who you are becoming, the version of you that you spoke about. And whoever wants to go first, once you have decided and completed it, wrote it down. That way we can discuss if this is actually a task that moves the needle or if it's a space filler that's convincing you that you're actually doing something when you're not actually doing it. And how to know the difference if you need to.
Okay, I think I'm ready, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I may need help with one of them.
Go ahead.
So I selected Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Um, I I feel like I have been working through more through like this logical perspective, and I feel like I want to tune back into that intuition, which I used to do a lot more. So really connecting into that meditation, really connecting to that reflection and increasing that intuition. So I really want to elevate that practice for Monday because I feel like that would also bring me more clarity for the week. So basically adding in more of that intuition work, divination, fire gazing, just really setting up intentional time for meditation, conscious awareness, growing energetically,
Okay, so
everything,
what's
business.
Monday, so that's today. So are you going to do this in the morning or in the evening?
Well, I always like to do a meditation in the morning, but I think also incorporating uh, a practice in the evening would be good before going to sleep.
Right before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So then that means there's going to be a couple shifts in your nighttime routine to make
Mm-hmm.
space for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea to do that
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically expand Monday be a meditation expander. So really tapping into my energy and how to cultivate that energy and tap into intuition. Like really cultivate intuition. That's what I see for Monday.
Okay, and you're going to use what you discover and what you find for what's your task on Tuesday?
So Tuesday, take action. So that's why I like that. Have Monday really be a space where I'm really attracting, pulling in that creativity, that intuition, and then using what comes through for Tuesday to take action. And I'm seeing Tuesday as the day where I really get a lot of work done.
What is
Like I film a lot of videos, I create a lot of content, and
Okay,
I
well,
feel
let's compartmentalize that because creating a lot of videos and creating a lot of content is too broad. I need you to say I'm creating 3 videos or 1 video or do something because creating a lot of videos, creating a lot of content sounds great. But what we want to do is actually provide you the structure for you to actually do it. So I would suggest creating one piece of really great content each Tuesday. And if you can batch more than one, then do it. But focus on,
okay.
and in the realm of creating content, you know, batching the content, recording the content, editing the content, creating the captions for it, I do those on separate days personally because it just makes sense for me. Because if I'm sitting down and I do it all in one, it's just like too much for my brain. Find myself getting pulled into all these different directions. So it needs to be like, so then I would suggest on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock or pick a time. You put that on your calendar. Tuesdays, 11. This is 11 to 12. I'm batching 1 to 5 pieces of content and just recording it face to camera, face to camera, face to camera, and then just consistently show up for that every week. That way,
Mhm.
whenever, maybe if you are going to post Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off Sunday and Monday, then you have your batch content and you can put it all out. How does that feel?
I like that.
Yeah, and if you ever read the book Atomic Habits, you've got to come up with a time that you're doing it and a place that you're doing it. We just redid your office. So now you have the place. So habit stacking means that you have got to consistently show up in that space at that time to build that consistency.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the last one is Thursday. Uh, Basically, this is where I really want to focus on the long-term project. I feel like most of the work that I'm doing is for the short term, making sure I'm getting more clients, making sure that I'm, growing the business and everything. But I really need to make sure that I have that long-term growth because that's where I really feel like that big shift is going to happen. So I Thursday is working on that long-term project.
Okay.
So
What is
pushing forward continuing the certification material. So it's maybe what I could do is say that I am creating one full module, like one full chapter every Thursday. I feel like it's a
Yeah, I
it's
would.
an ambitious goal, but I feel like it is a goal that I can meet.
So how long would it take you to complete a full module? 3 hours?
No, probably more. Because it's creating the information, that I need to put out, but then also the order and the language and then how it's going to be delivered.
Okay, well, how
So I think 5 hours at least for one.
Okay, well then what you could do is if you are a manifesting generator, so if you have that capacity to do that, and if that's something that's important to you, what I would recommend you doing is mapping out for the next 3 months, putting in your calendar every Thursday from 12 to 5 p.m. that you're working on that and that your goal every Thursday is to complete one module. Write it in your calendar. Thursday, module one. This Thursday, module two. This Thursday, module three. This Thursday, module four. 12 to 5. Sitting down and doing that and seeing how long it actually takes you, how far you get with that, and then deciding the next week, okay, maybe I only have the capacity for 3 hours, and that's actually what's sustainable for me. So then I'm going to do it from 1 to 4 instead. Maybe you get it done in two, but maybe by week 4 you get it done in 2 hours, and so now it only takes you 2 hours to do it, and then you by September you have it done, right?
Love it. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Lexi, do you need some support with yours?
I'm just going to tell you what I wrote down, and then you can hound dog me if I need it.
Yeah.
Um, So I have two different scenarios, leadership and modern. The leadership part, I need to go more in depth in my internalness and figure that out. But I do have the modern written down, and Sunday, Thursday, and Fridays. So on Sundays would be painting, fasting, creating content for skin ritual care. For the Sunday part, that would just, uh, yeah, skin care and health practices. Thursday,
I'm gonna stop you there so that way we can just
okay.
have this. Okay, so Sunday, I hear skincare content, like kind of like self-care Sunday, yes?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so what's gonna really help you actually do this is creating a little tiny altar space, whether that be in your bathroom, whether that be literally just a corner of your room,
Hmm.
that is ready, set to jet for that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can literally just put up like some curtains or a little like corner so that it's ready. I suggest you creating that sanctuary and creating that space so that way when you go sit down to like do your self-care or do your mirror work or whatever it might be,
Hmm.
part of the decision is taken out of it. You can literally just go to that corner. This is what we've been doing,
Hmm.
Marcel and I've been doing for the past like 3 weeks if we've been like kind of revamping this home, is
Hmm.
creating that because when you take out the decision fatigue, sorry, when you take out the decision, you take out the decision fatigue. meaning that you're
Right.
not going to be, oh, fuck, I need to record this. I don't have a space for it. You have that your altar, you have your sanctuary set up. So every Sunday you spend 30 minutes doing it. It's already there and it takes some of the process out of it. Do you think that you could do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How does it feel to consider that?
Great. It feels in alignment and it feels easily achieved.
Yeah.
That's achievable for me, but also fun in doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like a pretty like little self-care corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's Sunday. That way, so then that would be so maybe next week you start next Sunday, and so next Sunday you
Mhm.
spend an hour putting together your altar and your altar space, and between now and next week you can decide what you like, what the vibe is like. Maybe you can get on Pinterest and just get a couple fun ideas, or you could just like sit with it and say, what do I already have that I can make this space beautiful? Because you don't need anything new. You already have beautiful things, right? It just also creating a space that reflects what it is that you desire to create. And then starting next week, you can either start putting together that altar or start recording the content on Sunday. But either way,
Mhm.
it does, speaking from experience, it does take a little bit of time to get it set up. So if
Mhm.
you can this week, that's great. And if you can't, then at least like dedicating next Sunday to just like, I mean, that's what we did yesterday, all day yesterday. Like literally scrubbed the walls and like made sure that this space actually
Mhm.
reflected the energy of what it is that I want for my
Yeah.
office.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, great. And then
Um, Thursday, I was having a little bit of a tough time with this one. So I do want to do my tracking of in and outflow of my finances. Thursdays are usually days of payday as well. So that would be very beneficial to create my own, not T chart, but a financial chart to track everything that's coming through. But then also posting the content that I made on Sunday on Thursdays. Well, no, let's back up. It wouldn't be posting, it would be creating it or like doctoring it up and everything, putting it together.
okay. So what I'm hearing is that you have two tasks on Thursdays. One would be tracking your ins and outs of your finances. And so
Hmm.
and so a couple questions that you can reflect on would be, are you currently doing something with every transaction that you create to have like for you to like understand where your ins and outs of money go? Is that something that you want to do, or is that something that's unnecessary? And then two, when you do get your paycheck, are you allocating that to certain, like for example, when I was in the service industry, I did the envelope method. So I would have an
Hmm.
envelope for electricity, I would have an envelope for rent, I would have an envelope for my nails. I would like literally any expense that I had that I needed as like a bottle service girl and also for my bills. So it'd be like hair, nails, rent, blah, blah. And so I would take whatever I'd made and I would put in a percentage into each one until they were filled. And then I would put those envelopes to the
Hmm.
side. So like rent would be done, bills would be done. And then I would have to just like fill my other parts
Hmm.
into, so that way it would keep me focused on that, and then I would also always pay my bills on time.
Perfect. I'm writing down envelope practices.
Yeah, it's like it's archaic in a way, but it worked so well for me. And whenever, especially if you're receiving cash, it's so much easier to actually feel like you're making progress on paying things off and all that good stuff.
Definitely. Organization. It's boxing what I need to get done.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, okay, so that and then the editing of content.
Yeah, so as we were talking with Marcel, it's important for you to create the spaces, even if it's just in your room um or like a desk, or so for example, like creating the flow of the energy of the intention. So if you're going to be doing your bills and your finances, I also suggest creating a little space for you to do that on
Hmm.
a desk or in an area where you can like light a money candle and then you just like go into that space and you do what it is that you say that you're going to do.
Hmm.
So that way you can channel that energy and then it also doesn't leak into other places of the house. So if you're stressed about money, is hypothetically speaking, if or anyone who's watching this
Hmm.
is stressed about money or as unsure of what's going to happen next, that energy is going to leak all over your house. Or it can be channeled into the productivity of Thursday, and you can sit down and do it in a space that feels expansive and abundant, and then you rewire your relationship to that task, and therefore your expansion and your abundance or your abundance expands. So then having that area, and then also your um your editing, your editing. It can be the same,
Hmm.
it can be the same space for you to edit that, or you can even have like a little chair. Like, so if you have another or like a cushion that you sit on while you edit, another way to just channel that source energy. So putting in, say, for example, on Thursdays, you're going to spend from 8 a.m. to 8:30 or whatever time works best for you to get your projects in a line financially speaking, or your ins and outs, or your tracking or your allocation of your resources. And then later on the afternoon, you can do your editing of your content. And to be honest, I think that maybe you don't need three. Maybe you just focus on those 2 days since you have three
Hmm.
tasks for those days, and that could be it.
Okay.
How does that
Yeah.
feel to just have those three?
Good. It feels good.
Yeah. So then you're looking at creating your three separate spots, one to edit, one to create, and one to do your financial planning.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. How do you feel?
Perfect. Good. Thank you. I feel on track.
Good. Okay, so now that we've discussed your planetary rulers and your tasks, um, the next open circle for Aligned Soul Circle will so it's going to always be open to the public once a month. So the third Sunday for you, for anyone who's in the US, the third Sunday of each month is open to the public. So this is a time for us to join together in community. However, for those of you who would like to be a part of the Aligned Soul Circle, we will be meeting every single Sunday at this time. This is a part of the membership. It's $45 for the founding price, and that gets you every Sunday working with us for accountability. And also each month you get a 10-minute consult with me to assist you with, continuing to fine tune your direction, your plan of action, and like make minor adjustments to see slow, steady, heart-centered, sustainable progress. So that being said, the next call that's open to the public is so the third Sunday of August. So that is Sunday, August 17th at whatever time zone you're in, but 8 p.m. CST. And that's the next one. And so if you know anyone that you want to invite into the space to see what it's like to work with us, to join the community, then we'll see you then. And if you'd like to meet with us every week, then I will be sending out the space for you to sign up for Aligned Soul Circle. Sound good?
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, I hope you had as much fun as I did. I had so much fun. I'm so happy that you were here. And we'll see you next month.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really love the clarity. I feel excited to take this on and yeah, just feel motivated. Clarity just brings so much good flowing energy forward, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling confused. That's so I love talking to you uh, for these things. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for receiving it. When you build an empire, you got like it takes time to like really sit down and actually do it. Because like living your dream life is the goal. And also building the systems and the structures to support that is the first step, right?
Hmm.
Mhm. All right, honeys, we love you. Happy Sunday night, Lexi. Thank you so much for being here. And hope
Thank you.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye.